My name is Ice Cold Brew. I'm going to be your commentator and caster this evening for the Kyohaku Rocket League Series Division A matchup. Tonight, we are going to have the Abyss versus the Celerymen. And just looking at that matchup right now, folks, it's going to be a fun time over here. We're going to have two 1750 plus. It's about GC3 level, getting ready to play out of their minds at the moment. Both teams are 3-1. Abyss coming out 3-1 against DME level, and Celerymen and Astronauts coming out 3-2 against Esports. So looking ahead at their matchups, you know they are very excited for the Swiss. They are excited to get into the action. I'm excited to get into the action as well, as I got everything ready over here and my entire screen just moved over. So that in mind, folks, I'm going to go ahead and let these lovely folks know it's time to get rolling here. As always, thank you once again to Christopher Escalante, aka Chrysalis, for the wonderful music you are hearing in the background. It's always wonderful to have it going on for every broadcast we do here. And of course, if you want me to cast for you, please reach out to me on Ice Cold Brew. Get it on. By the way, thank you very much for El Matador and Ferranmi for the follow as well. I appreciate that, y'all. I truly do love doing 3v3, especially at a high level too, just because I've been watching that new video where he talks about Joyo of Moist Esports, and that growth that you get to see all starts at this type of game too, as Drex over in the blue for Celerymen's going to pick up the very first goal, gets a dinger off the crossbar, picks it up. El Matador already making the call that it's going to be Abyss on top, but the way Drex just picked up that first goal so quickly, so easily, kind of leads me to believe Celerymen will be on top as well. As always, folks, this is a best of 5. This is the middle of their season right now, as over in the blue, Celerymen and Astronauts already starting off pretty strong. The Abyss looking to envelop Celerymen, but Drex is going to fire a laser right behind Killer there and take him out fairly quickly. Killer back from the grave, tries to chase him down, but it's not Friday the 13th yet, and sadly he is not Jason. It's going to be the ball heading across the net. And still fighting for their life right now in front of their strike zone. Have to understand that sometimes in the beginning, a lot of these matches, you want to gradually build up. It does feel like Drex is ready to go. Drex wants to close this one out fairly quickly. In fact, gets that demo on Killer again. It's going to be Dogtooth who's able to pull that ball away. Drex sails across, unable to find that opening. Instead, it's going to be Dogtooth on that defensive end. Big thing at this high level too is you have to understand how your opponent's going to play. You have to react fairly quickly. Vazo trying to take out Drex. Already with Drex picking up about 2 or 3 demos so far. Knows he's a threat, knows he's a striker, just wants to get him off that back end. As we hit that 90-second mark, it feels like it's mellowed out a little bit. I don't think the Abyss was really ready for that sparkling light of a goal. As now Zuzu's picking up demos too, keeps that ball in the corner. I like that control, I like that containment, but a nice pass out from Vazo, from Killer to Vazo, and the Abyss will tie it up 1-1. Beautiful feed. You know, I was about to start talking about the way to play threes is paying attention to those rotations, trying to play around each other, anticipate what your opponent's going to do, and understanding instinctually how your teammates are going to play. But in that moment, I think everyone was of the same mind on the side of Celerymen, as they duked it out and we're all in that same quadrant. Not really a place you want to be defensively either. I would love to see them space out a little bit more. Just a bit of that alacrity causing them to get tangled up in the lines and grinding into each other. Dogtooth leaves that net open, but gets covered quickly by Zuzu and Drex, who are able to get back in time, trying to defend. Ball down the half-court line. They're attacking that middle lane fairly well on both sides. Drex upfield, tries to put it in, and it's going to be a little bit off target, but I like the look. I like the idea. Just needs to bring it in a little bit tighter. About to hit the halfway mark so far, 1 goal each. Not a lot of a performance from Zuzu right now, who's mostly been focusing on the demos, and sadly don't get points for that. Drex with his own. Zuzu, as soon as I start trashing him, says, let me put the eyes back on me and remind you to eat your veggies. Zuzu, tight corner shot, drives that into the near post, brings it back up in their favor for the Celerymen and Astronauts. 2-1 now, just half the game gone by. I still like the aggression coming out from Celerymen right now. You kind of understand how they became such a top performer, why they are 3-1, similar to how the Abyss is as well. However, the Abyss, I feel it is a best of 5. It's absolutely a best of 5. And I'm going to harp on that a little bit because you have more opportunities to score. You have more chances to break away from your opponents. You just need to get that warm up. Zuzu and Drex almost with a bit of a team conversation inside the orange half. Rocket League Splash Series official. Welcome on in. Thank you for the raid. Solonalo and Slime. Welcome as we see Dog2 is going to pick up that third goal for the Celerymen and Astronauts. Brings it within a 2-goal lead now at that timing of the raid. Beautiful, beautiful chance here. Let's go ahead and get that shout out real quick while we're in between. Folks, I truly love Rocket League Splash Series. Rocket League Splash Series, thank you for coming on in. We are currently in the middle of week 4 for Kyohaku Rocket League Series. This is their Division A team, and Drex is showing why they can attack so ferociously, why they're so prepared to take this league by storm. They do run a Swiss bracket here, so the more wins Celerymen can take off of their opposition, the better position they will be in by the time playoffs comes around. By the time the seeding comes around, you know they are getting plenty of points for this right now. Rocket League Splash Series, thank you so much for coming on in. Tell me, how was y'all's evening so far as that ball rises up? We're 80 seconds left to go. It's safely in the hands of Celerymen, I believe, at this point in time, outside of a miracle, but with 70 seconds left, that's not a lot of time for you to pick up 3 goals. But you can at least get that momentum coming back to you. You can at least get some charge going for that game too, as Dogtooth went for a far side double tap, not going to be able to bring that anywhere close to strike. Instead, Killer is going to take a knife to the back of Drex, forcing Zuzu to be awkward. Ball towards the net. No one's there in time. Vazo will just force that to the corner. Rillo right in front of Zuzu. And that's going to be a beautiful way to set that up. But, ooh, Title Talk podcast. Folks, you want to see a premiere podcast show, go check out Title Talk over at Rocket League Splash Series, who did the lower divisions recap and high divisions playoff look. I'd love to see that. I believe we have high division coming up this weekend over on Rocket League Splash Series, as Zuzu is going to retain that 3-goal lead. Wants me to keep his eye on the action. Great read of the situation, bit of miscommunication on that pass. But right now, it really feels like a lot of that competitive nature we're seeing from the folks over on the side of Celerymen. That's right. I believe it's going to be Cyclone and Tsunami for Rocket League Splash Series. So if you want to see some playoff action at a high level, some intense teams, you want to keep an eye on Rocket League Splash Series this weekend. Dogtooth sends that ball screaming over high. It's going to be back to Drex. Tries to drop it down. Nice demo from Zuzu. Dogtooth left post. Vazo is able to beat out Drex. And I think this game's going to end on a 3-goal difference. If they can get the final goal on the side of the Abyss, it's going to be huge for that momentum. That's going to be huge for that mentality, too. And you know they want to get that final goal. Dogtooth rule 0 in effect, trying to keep this ball up and alive over to Rillo. Killer is going to have none of that and will send that ball down into the ground and just say, GG, go next. Let's go to game 2. Beautiful setup. Both teams fairly aggressive, but a lot of that aggression came on the top of Celerymen. They are 5 shots total. Drex, especially with that first goal, and having actually 80% of the shots being responsible by him. He's got 2 assists on his side. Over on the Abyss side, just a bit short. 100% shot participation across the team, though. They have to be a little bit happy about that. However, what would be really nice to see is a little bit of cleanup on those rotations, a little bit more cleanup on how to bounce around each other a bit, because it feels like they were just a bit off on their rotations. It felt like they weren't really paying attention to where each other were going to be. And if they did, then they were caught off guard by Celerymen, who would cut in fairly quickly. Zuzu did that twice in order to get those goals. So with that in mind, we're going to go ahead and get ready for game 2. Back into DFH Stadium. Celerymen on a very impressive run. I believe they've only 3-2'd one other match so far. Insane Dan, thank you so much. I love your cast, by the way. Thank you for calling out New Balance Dad Association White recently. We got to recap that. Even though we didn't get the full game that we wanted, we got that 2v2 going on. So I really appreciate you stepping up and being flexible in that moment. No immediate goal for Drex, however, it's very close. Oh, spoke too soon, and Zuzu will make me pay for that one. Beautiful setup here. Drex forcing Killer out. Killer with the awkward touch. Rillo just a bit too overzealous. And will be shut down on that save. Nice setup. Dogtooth picks up the first demo off of Vazo. Vazo, a player who picked up a gold in the last game, but wasn't really able to make a lot of noise that entire time. Rillo especially, another player who did not really make a big difference. Shocking to find out that you were on that team. Well, Dan, thank you so much for coming to check this match out. This is going to be a fun one. I truly anticipate it being a 5-game banger as we start seeing if the Abyss can step up and try to fix their rotation a little bit and be a bit more mindful on that defensive half. I feel like offensively, they do a great job of trying to look for passing plays. They're trying to be a bit more involved with each other as we had that demo in the background. It's going to be Dogtooth, though, looking for a double tap. Zuzu tries to clear out the backboard for him, but sadly, it's going to be a bit too slow to do so. With that 1 goal difference right now, it stayed on a 1 goal difference for quite some time in game 1. And with Dogtooth finding Zuzu once again, it's going to be Rillo. This time he is there at the buzzer, able to clear that ball out, sends it over to Killer, who's going to try and find a moment. Killer, a lust for blood in his eyes, tries to take out Dogtooth, but sadly that dog is not Old Yellow. He will not go to ground. Killer takes vengeance for Vazo. Tries to find an opening for his teammates, but gets cut down by the dog. Drex has the ball stolen away. It's put onto the orange side of the pitch. Killer with the save. Playing a bit more defensively minded. They're playing it very close, too. They're coming in from behind to get that pickpocket touch. However, they're clearing the ball out pretty far and hard. And dangerous placement there. Ball towards the net. Vazo, great save. Denies Zuzu. Drex goes to fire. Shut down. Forced into the corner once more. Rillo. He's just trying to get a hand on the ball right now. Just trying to get it slapped away from the orange side of the pitch. Dogtooth will be slapped away from the dinner table. Won't be able to pick up any steak at that point in time. But might be able to get a slice of bread. No, denied. Don't feed bread to your dogs, folks. It's actually not good for them. You can give them broccoli, though. It will make them toot a bit, but you can give them broccoli. I think. Don't hold me to that. Zuzu at the half-court line goes to challenge Drex with the 50. As long as we've gone without a goal so far, it's about to be 3 minutes. I might get proven wrong. Last time I said anything about the scoreline, anything about the time, Zuzu was the one to immediately shut me up and caster curse the team. Drex drops it down. Rillo still fighting for that corner, wants to give it over to Killer. Killer, nice pop-up, but a bit too far once again. They're trying to find this moment where they can carry the ball up high. They're trying to get within striking distance to where they can at least try to look at the backboard a bit more. Killer's going to get cut down to size, but Vazo looking for the upset, sets it up for Killer, who goes for the block and then changes his mind for a beautiful little redirect right in front of the strike box. Was already in the closet. The call was coming from inside the house, and here comes Killer to tie it up 1-1. I believe he did that in the previous game, too. Has to quell his bloodlust in order to take control. It's going to be Zuzu. Looking for a pass to Dogtooth. Clanger on the board. Hits the crossbar. Rillo keeping it alive, but Dogtooth just goes up to challenge. Recognizes they can't really play fetch on that one. Not enough boost in the tank. Gonna be Killer over to Rillo. Rillo just needs a little flip. Oh, Zuzu with the cut down. And Drex with that demo is going to force Killer into a 1v2 situation. Killer Plays it smart. No! Can't control that one, though. Almost through from Dogtooth, who does decide to play fetch in that moment. Sadly, that ball is on a timer. Will be ejected out of the net. 38 seconds left to go. Dogtooth off the right post. Killer carries it away. Zuzu's going to challenge up ahead. Ball down center. Drex tries to keep it under control. Slows down that momentum. Challenges in the air on Willow. Killer upfield. Wants to carry. Wants to go coast to coast. Tried to make the call, but sadly will be denied. He forgot to pay the phone bill for that one. Rillo. Counter at the half-court line. I love the touch from Vaso. Just trying to keep it around. I think they're going to try and force OT because you can see a little bit more panic in the eyes of Celerymen. Celerymen really not liking any of the looks they've been getting, trying to set each other up, but more importantly, they're trying to prevent the Abyss from breaking away, and it has not worked in their favor so far. Vaso, a lot of time to pick up that ball, pushes it towards the net, takes a demo on Zuzu. Rillo with the control. Vaso in the same area. Back pass to Killer. Nice back pass, but forced put into the opposite side. Dogtooth looking for the ball. Rillo will reach up a hand and deny. Or I guess a bumper, if you really want to say that. Ball towards center. Killer off to the right. Sends it screaming upfield. Drex can't get, barely got the touch on that, I think. No, didn't get the touch at all. Ball towards the net. Rillo was on target here. Just trying to find a moment as Zuzu carries it upfield, goes down the mid lane, over to Drex. Drex is on target, hits the right post, and that's going to go inside. Drex takes it 2-1. Beautiful pass from Zuzu, and what wonderful shot placement just out of reach for Rillo. And some passing plays once again. Drex being that dreaded opponent. Just anytime he gets that touch on the ball, it's such a threat. But Zuzu has made such a strong appearance for themselves as well. 6 shots overall, 15 shots, 2/3 more than what the Abyss have been putting out right now. El Killer able to pick up a goal here off the assist from Vaso, able to find that tying moment, and there is nothing wrong with that. However, I need a little bit more in order to break away from your opposition here. So what is the trick? What is the idea that we need to focus on here? And a lot of it is, I think, Abyss aren't really playing that timing. They're not playing pressure too well. They're getting caught in the back lines fairly often here. And they're just scrambling to protect the net more than anything. And that has to be a little bit frustrating too. As we go into game 3, this is match point for Celerymen. Abyss looking to start with their first game win. I imagine if they can take the first goal here, that's going to be huge for their mental and also start the idea of a comeback. Ball onto the backboard. Drex will hit it, and Zuzu will finish it off, but that was going to roll in anyway. Zuzu just wanted to put the stamp of approval on that goal. Rillo just getting caught out at the back lines, was caught in a 2v1 situation, needed to get the clear, instead knocked it into the goalpost, trying to defend. But I love the alteration from Drex, cuts it down to size. Vaso pop up towards center, wants to strike it home. Killer upfield to Rillo, gets denied by Dogtooth. Puff of gas in that moment. Drex still in control. Good boost steal. Good boost take from Zuzu as well. It's going to cut a lot of momentum down. Great save from Drex. Able to deny. Doinks it off the post and keeps that lead alive. Yeah, Celerymen have just been unstoppable right now. Once they get that first goal, they have all this momentum. They can continue to add pressure. They don't feel like they need to score much else. Ball still towards the center. Zuzu wants to put it in for a second time, but it's going to be Rillo with the save. Ball off to the wing. A lot of space and time for Dogtooth to pick this one up. Drex, not enough time to pick that one up, though. Ball across the backboard. Killer sends it up, sends it around. Looking for an opening here. Tries to put it back towards the net. Rillo. Up high, off to the left post. Dog shoot down to Drex. That's an open net opportunity. Can they put it inside? And this is the weakness for Celerymen too. They play a beautiful offense again, but where the Abyss get a little overzealous on the defensive side, Celerymen really want to continue that momentum so much that they forget to cover the back end. That redirect on the open net should not have happened, and yet it did. Ball towards Dogtooth. Vazo avoids the bump. Zuzu goes to strike home once more. And I would really love to see a bit more offense coming out from the Abyss. But sometimes really good defense is all you need. Celerymen. What happened here? Drex just forgot he was last man, I guess. Really trusted Dogtooth to head home, but sadly Dogtooth didn't hear that whistle in time. Dog sends it up high. Tries to find a feed to Drex, but sadly Drex has a hole in his mouth in the moment. Ball dropped down center. Rillo upfield to... This is actually the first time they've taken the lead too. I've just realized that for the Abyss. Great cut down from Vazo. Drex though will come in and sometimes putting everything on the line, trying to come in like it's a Black Friday sale and get as much as you can, as quick as you can. Actually, more like a new Pokemon trading card release, really. But the more you play that front side, the more aggressive you are in the face of danger, the better position you will be. And at that point in time, that's what we saw. You know, I compliment the Abyss on getting their first lead, and looks like Celerymen just took it right back. Just get tangled up all on the same side. Which is what happened to the Abyss in game one. That's what happened when they first lost one of their goals. When they got that first goal and then they gave it up shortly after, it's because they were all on the same side. I feel like the Abyss forgot about that. I would like to see a bit more bumping aggression coming out from the Abyss, because it feels like they're getting outplayed at the moment. They're running into each other and they're getting just suffocated with how much offensive pressure is coming out from the Celerymen. Truly, space is a vacuum. You have to remember that their second part of their name is astronauts. And that's what's happening right now to the Abyss. The Abyss may be endless. The Abyss may look back at you. However, the astronauts will continue to head on to the final frontier, will continue to break down space, and Vazo's going to get a tying match. As soon as I start complimenting one team, the other one scores. Maybe I should do that more often. Beautiful feed from Killer, and Vazo just barely able to get over Zuzu. Ties it up 3-3. With this being the first time they've scored and taken the lead in this game, I'm wondering if that might be the note for the difference for the Abyss. Ball hits hard against the goalpost. Up high for Killer. Not going to be enough. Zuzu, powerful bump, sends it off and away. Dogtooth looking for a double tap. Gets denied by Vazo. Love that positioning. Love that shutdown at the goalpost. Drex, though, not going to give this one up. Tries to Goomba Stomp down on Rillo. Ball cut down. Vazo doesn't have a lot of space and has to play for room. Doesn't have boost either. Can't go up the challenge with last one back. It's such a hard decision to make. However, Drex, you know what's nice about Drex? He sees his teammate across. Vazo gets that touch. It goes over to Dogtooth. Vazo doesn't get the touch. The ball goes in. It's a win-win situation for him. Odds are at 80% it will go in. And again, these are high-level players. They're going to make that shot if you give it to them. Why I'm thinking about that one player on the, I believe, Grizzlies, who just jumps up anytime someone takes a three-point shot and forces a 25% shot accuracy because of that imagined pressure. But the pressure for the Abyss is real. They have not found their chance here. Drex will deny. That ball is right towards center, and Drex was in the perfect place at the perfect time. Zuzu rotating back. It's going to be Dogtooth carrying it forward. Great touch, sends it out towards mid. Drex, low boost, tries to get there in time a little bit late. Still confirms the touch. Tries to make another appointment for Zuzu, but Zuzu gets denied by Vazo. Call blocked as that ball heads up back towards that orange side of the pitch. 10 seconds left to go. Killer needs this moment to come through. Killer is upfield, is looking for a redirect, drops that ball towards center. It's gonna go right across the net. Killer and Vazo both chasing after it. Dogtooth throws it away. That's gonna be Celerymen taking a sweep. 3-0 overall. What a great matchup, and I just want to double check. I believe Celerymen for the first time have swept their opposition. Yeah, they typically drop a game or two. I was realized I put them at 3-1. Really should have been 2-1. Whoopsie doodles. Well, anyhow, that's something to fix there. Would I have a link to join KRLS? Actually, I might not have a link, but I may very well be able to get that for you. Well, folks, with that in mind, though, great series overall from the folks over at Celerymen and Astronauts. You have to really appreciate that play style that they had, how aggressive they were, and what they were looking for overall in their opposition, and how the way they set each other up was beautiful. Drex especially was probably my MVP, but I think the unexpected additional person you can make an argument for is Zuzu. Zuzu did such a great job of picking up where everyone thinks was left off. Whenever it was unexpected, Zuzu was there to challenge, and that's how they were able to progress and take the series 3-0. Well, with that in mind, folks, thank you all so very much for joining me. Thank you for being a part of this broadcast. I'm going to go ahead and look for another person to rate out here. If you are on Twitch, if you are watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. Definitely hit that subscribe button, or at least leave a like on the video. I would appreciate that too. And once again, a huge shout out to Christopher Escalante for that beautiful music you are hearing in the background. As we get ready to close out for the night, I'm going to double check. Pyro J is playing Balatro, and I'm so tempted just to go over to Balatro because Balatro. Let me find out another person doing some RL work for a moment. Oh, you know what? We just talked about the RLCS major that just happened. Why don't we raid over to the man, the myth, the legend himself, Johnny Boy. He will have no idea who I am, but that is okay. In the meantime, folks, thank you all so much once again for joining me on this broadcast, and I will be back in the future. And I might also be streaming more games soon too. You can see I have this whole new wall behind me. I have a whole new setup going on, and so there are more opportunities to stream games in the near future. With that, folks, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Take care.